chartered accountant. I have been practicing audit for the past 20 years. I was an audit partner with one of the large firm in Malaysia called YYC, and I started my career in KPMG Singapore, also as an auditor. And I live in JB. So I'm not a technical background in terms of the IT technical. I am actually an accountant trained. So what happened is actually last year I start to touch on AI and some automation. Maybe before that, right? Would you mind to share in the chat box how many of you are actually from accounting background? You can just type an account in the chat box, so we can get a flavor who are the audience in the group chat for today. Okay. So basically, in accounting field, right, especially in JB, right, like most of you know that JB is very difficult to get people to work. That's why, middle of last year, I think that it is almost a very suitable timing for AI solution to be implemented, because I find that the cost is very low. It's a low barrier to entry in terms of the cost, and the know-how is also very accessible. You no need to go through like a few semesters of study. You no need to go through like 1 month or 2 month courses then to get things implemented. Basically, you just attend like 2 to 3 days workshop, then you can get things implemented on the ground. So that's my personally feeling back then. Then I made a decision that I want to pivot my role out from the audit industry, but I'm still focusing in the application of AI solution and the automation process in accounting and finance industry. Because in accounting we have basically few sectors. We have government, we have public sectors, we have private sectors in the corporate. We also have accountant in practice. In practice meaning to say that you are operating a firm, providing the service to the other businesses. Maybe another quick survey. If let's say you are accountant in the corporate world, you just type corporate. If you are accountant in the practice, you can just type practice over here. Today, I think most of my use case, right, is focused on the corporate use of the AI's process that I think is quite promising, and it can really solve the pain point to recruit the people. And right now, I myself, other than apart from conducting training with Warren and Marcus, both of them are in the call tonight also. I also do some consultation work for the practice to it's more on coaching because at this moment, right, AI is evolved so rapidly. So I have 2 to 3 firms under my coaching, and also in MIA, Malaysia Institute of Accountants, better phrase it correctly. I'm one of the mentors sitting in their program to help local firm to go digitalization, to adopt AI. And actually, I myself also sitting inside the AI working group in MIA, and in Johor, I'm also one of the committee member. So that's a little bit about the story about myself lah. In short, I'm not the IT trained person, although I like to play a lot of game when I was young, but it does help in some of the recent development. If I can, later I will showcase with you some of the process that I have done, some of the product I actually developed with my colleague Warren's. If let's say I am able to do it, I believe most of the people over here, like you right now watching me to share my story, you should be able to do as well. All right. A little bit of housekeeping, right? If let's say during the sharing session, if you have any things you want to ask, you can either use the chat box, but we will recommend you to use the Q&A tools. If you are using the laptop to view the webinar, at your bottom right corner, they have a meeting tools icon. Once you click that, there's a Q&A button. Okay, you can actually leave your Q&A there. We will try to answer all the questions before we finish our webinar tonight at 10:30. But during my sharing, if you have any ideas, you want to chip in, you can just type in the chat box today. The session is more like an interactive section. It's a sharing session. It's not really some, tutorial class, all this kind of thing. I doesn't really believe in one-way communication. I think the more interaction, then we can open up our mind bigger. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, this is the deck for today, right? Every time, right, when I look at the presenter text, I always will look at how many slides are there. For me, it's only 11 slides, so it's a very short and concise presentation on sharing. And in fact, right, when I was working on this particular slide, this is actually not a, not a PowerPoint, it's a HTML deck. How do I prepare this one, right? Is using Grok. This is one of the tools that I would like to share with you in this evening. Okay, for example, this one I will ask in the afternoon. Just I ask the Grok to prepare me some HTML. I share with you that what are the things that I want to share, all this kind of thing. Okay, after that, right, it will actually give me some. In fact, I asked for some opinion whether my assessment and my observation in terms of the AI use case is sounds or not. So from here, okay, it will give some recommendation. And there, I just, okay, based on the question that they asked, okay, I give my answer, and Grok will actually start working on the presentation and deliver accordingly with a preview panel over here. And this is how I craft the presentation slide today to share my AI automation journey with all of you. Yesterday, I just complete one MIA JB meeting, and one of my fellow friend, Jason, I'm not sure whether he's in today. I actually share with him that the easiest way, right, for you to start embracing the AI automation at this moment, this is based on my personal experience, because he is currently subscribing ChatGPT to try out many kind of things. I said, why not you just try to spend 1 month, you switch from ChatGPT, you subscribe Grok with the same cost, then you might see a lot of difference. So the first thing I would like to share today is, if let's say, maybe you can do a quick survey in the chat box. If you are using ChatGPT, you type ChatGPT. Gemini, you type AI. Gemini, if you're using Grok, please type Grok over here. Then we can have a flavor to see what are the AI that you are currently using for a day-to-day basis lah. In fact, there was a publication in the last few weeks, right, that showed that which country has the highest Grok penetration rate. If I not recall wrongly, the first one is Israel. Then I think the top 3, Singapore is there. Malaysia, I think is somewhere 50 plus among the world. Yeah. So for those, if you are using Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, I think no harm giving Grok a try. I myself, I have Grok subscription, and I also have Gemini subscription. Gemini is because right now I'm still studying in UTM for my master degree. So the student entitled for a 1-year free subscription on Gemini.